Last time on Loner Life in Another World. After his first attempt is unsuccessful, Haruka tries again, and it seems he had succeeded in escaping Omui village this time. But as fate would have it, the noble lady he was escorting was headed to Omui as well. Meanwhile, at the delinquents and jocks face-off, an unknown figure impales one of the delinquents suddenly. Who is this mystery person, and will poor Haruka ever make it out of that village back to his loner cave? Let's find out in episode number 6. The episode starts off with the face-off between the delinquents and jocks. The mystery impaler gets rushed by the delinquents, but he quickly dispatches of them as well. As the jocks make a run for it, the mystery killer gets ahead of them, and as he approaches them, they can't seem to believe who they were seeing. Meanwhile, Haruka is welcomed at the Lord's Manor, which he tries to break away from at first, but is convinced otherwise with a bountiful feast prepared just for him. Not holding back, Haruka digs into the culinary wonders presented before him. Although a little too passionately, since he completely ignores everything else. Haruka is also rewarded money for his heroism. Marielle then gifts Haruka a specially crafted ID made just for him that would allow him to enter and leave the town as he pleases. But Haruka seems more interested in the jiggly pudding in front of him. The poor noble lady felt ignored, like the first slice of bread at that moment. It's the next day, and Haruka is in the center of an interrogation circle, questioning him about his absence yesterday. Haruka explains where he was, invited over for dinner at the town lord's manor, and tells the class rep he won't leave town while they're on quest. But as soon as she leaves, Haruka writes her a note saying he was going to go check up on the jocks, and makes a run for it the third time. After doing a little shopping and grabbing a bite first. Equipped with his very own custom ID now, Haruka is granted exit from the village with ease. Finally out for real this time, Haruka tells himself he won't be looking at any carriage in trouble this time, and finally arrives back in his woods. The familiar sights of mushrooms, fish-filled lakes, and even goblins and kobolds there give Haruka a welcoming feeling. But that feeling is cut short when an orc appears behind him all of a sudden and attacks him. Although taking him out is easy work for Haruka with his new staff, he is left wondering what an orc was this doing this far out in the woods when usually they're present deep into the woods. Haruka then notices a patch of blood on his way to his cave. Suspecting the jocks might have fought against the delinquents and something bad might have happened to them, Haruka uses his enemy detection skill and follows the footsteps of the person who left the blood trail. Haruka is stunned when he finds the jocks lying there, bathed in their own blood at death's door. Noticing that they were still alive, Haruka desperately uses all the healing mushroom potions he had on them in an attempt to save their lives. Thankfully, his efforts pay off, and they survive, thanks to Haruka's quick thinking. After gaining consciousness again, they ask Haruka about the girl's safety, and Haruka reassures the selfless jocks they were just fine, thanks to their efforts. The jocks then tell Haruka that the mystery killer had killed the delinquents and had stolen all their weapons as well. Calling the perpetrator a mathematical genius, the jocks tell Haruka this was all a setup by him, as he was after the class rep's hijack skill, which granted the user the ability to steal anyone's skill by killing them. Haruka figures out that he had only left the jocks alive so they could ask the class rep for help, and he could get an opportunity to steal the skill. The jocks ask Haruka to join forces with them and fight this criminal. Thinking he only wanted to live by himself peacefully, Haruka thinks about not involving himself first, but his friendship with those involved convinces him otherwise as he agrees to fight. However, he surprises the jocks by telling them he will fight alone while they head back to the girls. The jocks hesitate at first, but after seeing how determined Haruka was, they agree. Haruka knew them being with him would help him out, but he sent them to the girls anyways in case they all went down, as no one would be left to protect them then. Meanwhile, class rep and the girls search for Haruka. The girls tell her he left and noted, and was probably fine, but the class rep can't help but feel uneasy about it. Haruka prepares a plan for his fight with the mystery killer. Learning that he used an OP weapon skill, Haruka plans to come up with a skill that can take advantage of the opening a weapon skill leaves. As once activated, it can't be stopped. That's when Haruka spots a gob of goblins being attracted to the jock's blood trail from earlier. With all of them being high-leveled, Haruka takes them on with the hopes of leveling up himself as a result. Haruka takes care of them all in a flash, but unfortunately doesn't level up. Suddenly, a goblin king shows up. Taking him on might prove useful, so Haruka pursues him. Fast and powerful, unlike the rest, the Goblin King has Haruka on defense with his weapon skill, not leaving him any opening for an attack. Trying something new this time, Haruka combines a bunch of his skills with his staff and manages to one-hit kill the goblin from their combined use. Even though he had a bunch of lackluster skills, their combined use was still very effective. Haruka is delighted over this new ability, which was now part of his weapons arsenal when his bloodlust sensing skill goes off. It's a level 50 Goblin Emperor this time. Intimidated by its extremely high level, Haruka doubts his chances against it but decides to fight anyways, and uses his combination skill on it. Haruka lands it successfully, but the Goblin Emperor is back on its feet the very next second, like nothing happened. It then unleashes its Furious Weapon skill on Haruka, which definitely puts Haruka's on the back paddle as he struggles to evade its onslaught. Seeing an opportunity, Haruka hits it again with his combo attack, and it does inflict some damage this time, but the Goblin Emperor shocks Haruka by healing itself. Haruka thinks about using another made-up skill when the Goblin Emperor sends him flying with a claw swipe. Battered, but not nearly as badly as the Jocks, Haruka continues his fight against the Goblin Emperor. The battle finally ends as dawn breaks, and Haruka successfully manages to level up 2 levels at the end of it. Equipped with a new powerful skill, Haruka prepares himself for his battle against the Mystery Killer. The killer shows up at Haruka's cave after following the Jock's trail. It's the nerd pet of the delinquents, Tanaka. On the other hand, the girls run into the Jocks on their way back from a quest. Not seeing Haruka with them, the class rep asks about him, only to find out he was fighting the Mystery Killer all by himself in the woods. As she worries about Haruka's well-being, Haruka faces off against Tanaka. Hoping to have found the class rep by following this trail, Tanaka reveals he was the one behind the delinquents breaking up the class, and had also killed every guy except the nerds and the jocks. Considering Haruka is no threat to him because of his useless skills, Tanaka starts to leave for the girls, hoping to finally get that hijack skill from the class rep, when Haruka stops him by pointing his staff at him. Amused, Tanaka asks Haruka why a loner like him cared about any of it. Haruka answers that even loners like him had people they wanted to keep safe. And so, the episode ends right as the epic showdown between Tanaka, aka the Mystery Killer, and Haruka, the ultimate loner, is about to begin. Stay connected, like and subscribe for more fun recaps on One and Only Endless Recaps.